I think it pretty much goes without saying that no one wants to get hit by a car when they're out riding. If you do, you're watching the wrong video. This video is about how to not get hit while riding. So here are a few ways to avoid an unpleasant interaction with an automobile. Lately, I've heard a lot of cyclists, trikers, and road bikers saying that with all the texting and otherwise distracted drivers out there, they're giving up on road riding as it's just too dangerous. They've left the road for good, and they've either gone over to only riding on bike trails or to off-road gravel riding. This makes sense, as if you're looking to avoid tangling with cars, the surest way is to just stay off the roads. This can be a workable solution for riders with a good trail system within driving distance, or for gravel riders with a nice local network of semi-deserted, unpaved country roads. Still, you're likely to find yourself having to ride on a busy road occasionally, so let's take a look at a few other ways to deal with drivers and hopefully avoid getting hit while you're out riding. Since we're already talking about bike trails, let me bring up the subject of car crossings on bike trails. It's the rare trail that doesn't have at least a few auto-crossing areas, and one thing that I've noticed around my local trail system is that riders never even slow down to check out what's happening at these crossings. Here you can see me doing what I just described. I approach the intersection, I do look, but I don't slow down. Hey kids, don't be like me. At least slow down a little bit to make sure there are no cars coming. Now on my trail system here, they've recently removed all the stop signs for cyclists, but this still doesn't mean that blowing through these junctures is the smartest thing to do. If you have no real choice but to ride out on roads, try and plan a route that takes you through less busy traffic channels like seldom traveled residential streets. I used to spend a lot of time riding on one of the busiest streets in the area here, but a quick check of Google Maps and I found a much nicer route with much less traffic that's also much more interesting, and which gets me to the exact same place. If you do have to ride on busier roads, try to avoid long, wide, straight roads. Research shows that these are just the kind of roads where drivers feel compelled to speed, and also where they think that they have the freedom to stop paying attention to their driving and to start playing with their phones. Also, if you're going to ride out on the roads, try planning your rides for low traffic times of the day. I recently started riding through a normally busy area, but I'm riding through early on a Saturday, so there's little to no traffic while I'm out there. Another good way to avoid getting hit: make yourself as visible as possible. A bright blinking light or flag, or a light and a flag, or two lights and two flags. When it comes to visibility, you really can't go too far. Yes, a driver that's paying attention can easily see a piece of paper laying in the road, but remember, you're trying to catch the attention of a driver that isn't paying attention to the road ahead. You're trying to get someone who's busy playing with their phone to take notice of that spectacle in the corner of their eye and look up at you. No matter how visible you make yourself, some drivers may be so committed to their lack of attention that they wouldn't see an elephant dancing in the road. This is when you have to be actively defensive, and one way to do that is to use and constantly monitor your mirror. This is much harder with a road bike, as a certain amount of attention has to be paid to what's happening directly in front of your front wheel, but for a triker, and I'm certainly guilty of this, you could easily concentrate all your attention on that rear view mirror, staring diligently at that traffic behind you, just waiting for the driver that's swerving into the bike lane, looking to make you his next victim. The question becomes, when you do see someone barreling down about to hit you, what can you do about it? I've always hoped that I'd be in a position to somehow bail off the road to safety, but I've thankfully never had the opportunity to try this out. One thing's for sure, you're better off knowing that something's coming, so at least you have the chance to try and avoid it. Technology can help out a bit here as well. I've never had a chance to try one, but I've heard lots of glowing reviews of the Garmin Varia radar system, which lets you know through your bike's computer if a car is approaching from behind. If anyone has had any experience using the Varia radar system on a trike, please let me know what you think in the comment section below. When approaching cross streets with traffic, try to make eye contact and get some kind of assurance that the driver is aware of your presence and is motioning for you to ride ahead. Still, I only half trust eye contact, and often I'll just ride behind the waiting vehicle, avoiding any possible conflict. Parking lots can be a particularly treacherous place for trikes, and while I'm tempted to think that a tall flag will make me visible enough, in a busy parking lot, the safest thing to do is to just stand up and walk the trike. As a final overall bit of advice, if you have to ride in traffic, while making yourself as visible as possible, ride as if you were invisible to drivers. Don't give them half a chance to make a stupid mistake that could land you in the hospital or worse. Also, don't freak out too much about this stuff. It's easy to read endless forum posts about cyclists killed by autos, but statistically, cycling is still a relatively safe activity. So get out there and have some fun, but keep looking in your mirror.